There's a version of you that woke up one day, looked at their life, the career, the relationship, the routine, and felt absolutely nothing. Not sad, not happy, just empty. Like you were watching someone else live your life from behind glass. Maybe that version of you is you right now. Here's what's strange. Psychology tells us that most people who end up on the wrong path didn't take one big wrong turn. They took 1,000 small ones, and the most dangerous part, every single one of those steps felt completely reasonable at the time. So before you make your next move, whether that's staying where you are or taking a leap, watch this video, because what I'm about to share might be the pattern your mind has been trying to show you all along. The borrowed life. Let me tell you about a man named Daniel. Daniel did everything right, got the degree his father respected, took the job that made his mother proud, dated the kind of person his friends approved of. By 32, Daniel had built a life that looked perfect from the outside. But here's what Daniel told his therapist: "I feel like a guest in my own life." Psychologists have a name for what Daniel was living. They call it a scripted life, a path, written not by you, but assembled from the expectations of everyone around you. Your parents' fears, society's timeline, your culture's definition of success. Social identity theory, developed by psychologist Henry Tajfel, explains that humans are deeply wired to seek belonging, and belonging often comes with a price conformity. We unconsciously adopt the identities, values, and paths of the groups we want to be accepted by. So you didn't choose the wrong path out of stupidity. You chose it out of a very human need, the need to belong. But here's where it gets more complicated. Because even when people sense something is wrong, they don't leave. And the reason why will surprise you. It's not fear that keeps people stuck. It's something far more invisible. And once you understand it, you'll start to see it everywhere. In yourself and in everyone around you. The sunk cost trap. Imagine you've been walking a road for 2 hours. You're tired, your feet hurt. And somewhere around the 1 hour mark, you realize this road doesn't lead where you wanted to go. Do you turn back? Most people don't. And it's not stubbornness, it's psychology. This is called the sunk cost fallacy. The more time, energy, money, or emotion you've invested in something, the harder it becomes to walk away even when the evidence is screaming at you to leave. A student stays in the wrong degree because they've already completed 2 years. A person stays in the wrong relationship because they've already given 5 years. Someone stays in the wrong career because they've already sacrificed their 20s. Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman showed us that losses feel twice as powerful as gains. So the thought of wasting what you've already put in creates a psychological pain so strong it overrides logic. You tell yourself, "I've come too far to quit." But what you don't ask is, how much further am I willing to go in the wrong direction? Here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to hear. Staying on the wrong path doesn't honor the time you've already spent. It just adds to the loss. But knowing all of this still isn't enough to make most people change. Because there's one final layer, one psychological pattern that works beneath the surface, silently convincing you that everything is fine. Stay with me here, because this next part is the piece most psychology videos skip. And it's the part that actually explains why you might be watching this video right now. The misalignment signals. Your mind is already sending you. Your mind is not passive. It doesn't just sit quietly while you live a life that doesn't fit you. It sends signals. The problem is we've been taught to dismiss them. Signal 1, chronic low-grade dissatisfaction, not depression, not crisis, just a persistent feeling that something is off. Like a song playing slightly out of tune. You can still hear it, but something isn't right. Signal 2, envy that feels specific. Psychologists like Dr. Susan David describe envy not as a flaw, but as data. When you feel a sharp pang watching someone else's life, their creative freedom, their peace, their purpose, your mind is pointing at something it wants but hasn't been given permission to pursue. Signal 3, you perform your life more than you live it. You find yourself explaining your choices defensively to others and to yourself. You rehearse how to seem okay. This is your psyche working overtime to maintain a story that no longer fits. Signal 4, numbness where passion used to be. Not burnout, something quieter. The things that once excited you feel distant. This is what psychologists call emotional disengagement. Your inner self pulling back its investment from a life it doesn't recognize as its own. Daniel, the man I told you about earlier, he recognized himself in all four of these signals. And that recognition was the beginning of everything changing. Not because he immediately quit his job or transformed his life overnight, but because he stopped outsourcing his identity. He stopped letting the sunk cost of his past dictate the direction of his future. And here's the most important thing I want you to hold on to. The wrong path doesn't always look wrong. Sometimes it looks responsible. Sometimes it looks successful. Sometimes everyone around you is applauding while something inside you is quietly going silent. You are not broken for feeling lost. You're not weak for staying too long. You are human, wired for belonging, wired to protect what you've invested, wired to silence the signals when they feel too inconvenient. But you are also wired for something else, alignment, that deep, quiet sense that the life you're living and the person you actually are finally match. That feeling is available to you. But it starts with honesty, the kind of honesty that asks, whose path am I really on? If this video found you at the right time, and I think it did, I want you to do one thing right now, not tomorrow, right now. In the comments, finish this sentence. A path I've been on that might not be mine is... You don't have to have the answer yet, just name it. Because the moment you name it, you take back a piece of your own story. And if you want to go deeper into understanding the psychology of who you are beneath all the noise, subscribe. Because every week on this channel, we go to the places most people are too afraid to look.